Welcome, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to explore the life and virtues of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib.
Oh, an excellent choice.
But to really understand his story, we first got to dig into the legacy of his family, the Hashim clan.
You know, what's fascinating is that the Hashimites, they were known for their nobility even before Islam, even in pre-Islamic Mecca.
Wow, so they were already standing out.
Yeah, think about it. A society immersed in idol worship, and yet this family, they adhered to the monotheistic tradition.
So they were worshiping only Allah, like Prophet Abraham.
Exactly. They stood apart.
That's a powerful contrast.
It really is. And their commitment to justice also set them apart. You know?
Oh, tell me about that.
They were key in establishing the Hilf al-Fudul Pact, essentially an agreement among different tribes to protect the oppressed.
So ensuring fairness for everyone.
Yeah, regardless of their background, it shows they weren't just focused on themselves, they were concerned about justice for all.
Really practicing what they preached?
Absolutely, and that ties into their generosity, especially in Mecca.
Right, Mecca, a bustling hub for pilgrims.
And the Hashimites, they took it upon themselves to provide food and water, particularly for those in need.
Especially those who couldn't afford it, I imagine.
Precisely, generosity was deeply ingrained in their culture, a value that Imam Ali would have witnessed and internalized from a young age.
I see, so it shaped his character.
It really did. It speaks volumes about the foundation upon which his character was built.
Family legacy, huh? It's powerful stuff.
It truly is. And speaking of family, are you curious about some of the key figures in Imam Ali's lineage?
Of course. Where do we even begin?
Well, we can start with Hashim himself, the patriarch, renowned for his generosity, especially towards pilgrims visiting the Kaaba.
Wow, the Kaaba. Already a significant place.
Right. And then there's Abd al-Muttalib, a respected leader who rediscovered the Zamzam spring, a vital source of water.
So important for Mecca.
Absolutely. And of course, we can't forget Abu Talib, Imam Ali's father, a pillar of strength for Prophet Muhammad during the early days of Islam.
Abu Talib, now that's a name that carries weight. What was his role in supporting the Prophet during those challenging times?
Imagine the challenges the Prophet faced, right? Constant threats, opposition.
A very volatile time.
And Abu Talib, he became his steadfast protector, a true guardian in those vulnerable years.
Didn't a priest warn him about potential threats to the Prophet?
You're exactly right. He was approached by a priest who recognized the extraordinary nature of the young prophet Muhammad.
Incredible foresight.
This priest, he cautioned Abu Talib about dangers and urged him to safeguard his nephew.
He took it seriously, right?
Oh, absolutely. He went to great lengths, protecting the prophet from numerous assassination attempts.
So he was putting himself in danger.
He was. He provided unwavering emotional support, and he even used his skills as a poet to defend the message of Islam.
So he was actively using his voice.
He was praising the prophet, defending the message, and this commitment, it only grew during the 3-year siege imposed on Muslims by the Quraysh tribe.
Oh, that must have been a terribly difficult time.
It was, imagine being trapped, facing hardship, persecution, yet Abu Talib remained firm, never abandoning the prophet.
His death must have been a devastating loss for the Prophet.
It was deeply mourned. The prophet referred to that year as the year of sadness.
Wow, that speaks volumes.
It really underscores Abu Talib's critical role, shielding the nascent Muslim community.
Without him, things could have been very different.
Right. The story of Islam could have unfolded in a completely different way.
It's amazing how one person can have such an impact.
Indeed, but Abu Talib wasn't the only influential figure. We can't forget about Imam Ali's mother, Fatimah bint Asad.
Oh, of course, tell us about her.
She was known for her piety, her purity, and her early acceptance of Islam.
A woman of strong faith.
Yes, in fact, she was among the first women to pledge allegiance to the Prophet.
Wow, showing her dedication from the very beginning.
It demonstrates her deep faith and commitment to righteousness.
What an environment for Imam Ali to be raised in.
Absolutely, a household steeped in faith, dedicated to the Prophet.
Did she have a close relationship with the Prophet?
She did. Fatimah bint Asad wasn't just a believer. She dedicated herself to serving the Prophet, to the point he considered her like a mother.
A second mother to him.
Yes, and she was also a narrator of hadith, meaning she was entrusted with transmitting the Prophet's sayings and teachings.
So she was actively involved in spreading the message.
Exactly, highlighting her intellectual engagement with the faith.
Remarkable woman.
She truly was, and her passing, It also brought immense sorrow to the Prophet.
He must have felt her loss deeply.
He did. He personally oversaw her burial, even going so far as to lay down in her grave for a moment, praying for her ease in the afterlife.
What a powerful gesture.
It speaks volumes about her character and the bond they shared.
So we see Imam Ali's upbringing was truly remarkable.
Surrounded by figures of faith, it's no wonder he would achieve greatness, but there's one more event we need to discuss. His birth.
Yes, the birth of Imam Ali, a pivotal moment.
This is where it gets fascinating. Imam Ali has a unique distinction, you see. He was born inside the Holy Kaaba, an honor held by no one else.
Inside the Kaaba. That's incredible. Tell me more.
As Fatimah bin Asad approached the Kaaba while in labor, she prayed for his safe delivery.
A mother's prayer.
And then, a moment of divine intervention, the wall of the Kaaba miraculously opened, allowing her entry.
Wow, what a powerful symbol.
Isn't it? And upon witnessing his strength, she named him Hadara, which means lion.
Foreshadowing his future bravery.
It seems so, right? Even his father, inspired by a divine dream, named him Ali, signifying highness or superiority.
His name itself pointed towards greatness.
It's like it was destined, and that's just his birth story. Imagine what's to come.
We've only just scratched the surface.
We have, and in part 2, we'll delve deeper into his early life, the impact those years had in shaping his extraordinary character.
I can't wait.
It's a journey you won't want to miss. Welcome back, ready to continue our exploration of Imam Ali's life.
Absolutely. I'm eager to learn more about his early years.
So we've talked about his family, his lineage, but now let's imagine young Ali growing up in the household of Prophet Muhammad himself.
Wow, that's not just any childhood.
Not at all. It's like a front row seat to the birth of a new faith.
And Ali wasn't just passively observing, right?
No, not at all. He was one of the very first to embrace Islam.
Showing his understanding and loyalty from such a young age.
Exactly, demonstrating an innate understanding of its truth and unwavering loyalty to the Prophet.
So, more than just a student.
Oh, absolutely. He was a student, a confidant, but also a staunch supporter right from the very beginning.
The bond they must have shared is incredible.
Profound. You know, Ali absorbing the Prophet's wisdom, learning the principles of Islam, witnessing the Prophet's compassion.
It's almost like the ultimate apprenticeship for greatness.
You could say that, and this wasn't just theoretical knowledge either.
Oh, right. He was actively involved.
It was. Ali participated in defending the faith. Remember the story of the night the Prophet had to flee Mecca?
Because of the assassination plot, right?
Yeah. Yes. Ali bravely took his place in the Prophet's bed, risking his own life.
Wow, that's incredible courage.
Talk about dedication. It's a testament to his character, putting everything on the line for his beliefs.
He wasn't just learning about faith, he was living it.
Exactly, putting those principles into action during incredibly challenging times.
And this continued as Islam spread.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Ali was a key figure in those early battles.
Defending the Muslim community.
Yes. Against those who wanted to destroy it, he was known for his bravery and skill as a warrior.
So he was a skilled fighter.
He was, but it's crucial to remember his courage wasn't driven by power or conquest.
It was something deeper.
It stemmed from his deep faith, a fervent desire to protect the vulnerable.
A true protector.
Indeed, and we see this blend of spiritual depth, intellectual curiosity, and physical courage.
He was a complex individual.
He was a scholar, a deeply spiritual individual, and a formidable warrior, all in one.
It's not just one thing that defines him.
Exactly. He embodies the ideals of Islam in a truly holistic way.
And it all goes back to those formative years with the Prophet.
You see the impact of mentorship, how profoundly it can shape a person.
So we've talked about his bravery, his spiritual depth, but what about his intellectual prowess?
Ah, yes. Ali was renowned for his wisdom, eloquence, deep understanding of Islamic teachings.
More than just a follower.
Oh, he was a deep thinker, a scholar who could articulate the nuances of faith and inspire others.
A true intellectual.
And his knowledge wasn't limited to religious matters. He was also known for his understanding of law, philosophy, even mathematics.
A true Renaissance man.
Ahead of his time, right. And this multifaceted knowledge allowed him to engage with a wide range of issues.
Contributing so much to the Muslim community.
Precisely, and it's this combination of intellect, courage, and compassion that led him to a position of leadership.
So he was a natural leader.
You could say that, but his path to leadership wasn't without its challenges.
We'll delve into that in part 3.
We will, but before we move on, let's take a moment to appreciate the multifaceted nature of his character.
It's truly inspiring.
Imam Ali, he wasn't just a great leader or a skilled warrior. He was a complex individual, a depth of character that still resonates today.
Back again, ready to dive into the final part of Imam Ali's story.
And what a story it is, especially this chapter, his leadership.
We've explored his upbringing, his character, but leadership, that's a whole other dimension.
It's easy to assume that with his virtues, wisdom, leadership would be a natural progression for Imam Ali.
Yeah, it seems like a given.
But we got to remember the context, right? The Muslim community was still young, facing internal divisions, external threats.
So a lot of pressure, a lot at stake.
Exactly. It wasn't about inheriting a stable system. He was stepping into uncharted territory.
Leading during a period of intense change and upheaval.
And that required more than just strength and wisdom.
What else was needed?
Well, think about it. The ability to unite people, a deep understanding of human nature, an unwavering commitment to justice, even when it was hard.
It sounds like the ultimate test of character.
It was, and you mentioned challenges earlier. Well, despite his best efforts, Imam Ali's leadership wasn't without conflict.
Really? He faced resistance.
He did. Opposition from within the community, battles fought to defend the principles he held dear.
So even someone like Imam Ali, with his character, faced pushback.
It's a reminder that the path to justice, it's rarely smooth. Even the most righteous leaders face adversity.
It makes you wonder about the nature of leadership itself.
It does, right? If someone like Imam Ali faced such resistance, what does that tell us about the challenges of leading, especially during times of change?
A profound question. What do you think stood out in his leadership?
His unwavering commitment, serving the community, upholding justice, remaining true to the principles of Islam.
Even when it was difficult.
Especially when it was difficult, his actions, they were never about personal gain or power.
So it was pure intention.
It was, driven by a desire to serve and uplift.
Now let's talk legacy. Why does Imam Ali still inspire people centuries later?
That's the beauty of it, his enduring relevance. He's not just a historical figure, he's an embodiment of virtue.
A symbol of courage, justice, faith.
Exactly. His words and actions continue to inspire people from all walks of life.
It's like a timeless message.
It is, reminding us that we can stand up for what's right, even when facing adversity.
He's become an archetype, a hero.
And his story, it speaks to our yearning for justice, for a life of meaning and purpose.
So it's not just about remembering him.
It's about embracing the qualities he represented. It's a call to action.
To live with integrity, to challenge injustice.
To create a more just and compassionate world.
What a powerful legacy. And as we conclude this deep dive, is there one key takeaway you hoped our listeners will carry with them?
I think it's this. Imam Ali's life reminds us that true greatness isn't about titles or positions. It's about character.
It's about the choices we make, the values we hold.
It's about the impact we have on the world around us, something we can all aspire to, regardless of our background or beliefs.
What a beautiful thought. Thank you for guiding us through this incredible journey into the life and legacy of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib.
It's been my pleasure, and thank you to everyone for listening.